Hey guys, what's up? Thank you for joining me on my channel, Just Lissa here. So today's video is going to be all about self-confidence. What is it and how can you get some of it? Okay, folks, here we are. So let's start from the beginning. What exactly is self-confidence? What is it? If we're gonna know how to get it, we gotta know what it is, right? Let's start with the dictionary's definition of self-confidence. Self-confidence, a feeling of trust in one's abilities, qualities, and judgment. One more time. Self-confidence is a feeling of trust in one's abilities, qualities, and judgments. The first thing we will notice about the definition of self-confidence is very similar to self-love, is that it begins with ourself. It doesn't include other people. It doesn't include the opinions of your family, your professor, your boss, your ex-boyfriend, your current boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, your kids, nobody. It includes how you feel only about yourself. And the good thing about that is it means you have full control over your self-confidence. So at this point, you may be asking yourself if self-confidence is a characteristic that people are just born with. No. Self-confidence happens with repetition. It is a skill. You practice it day in and day out. It is the accumulations of everyday small actions that build you up into being a confident person. So if you have not been a confident person and you are 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, you can still acquire the skill of self-confidence. So what's the number one thing that holds us back from feeling confident? Because confident is a feeling and a skill we can acquire. Fear. Fear is the number one reason we do not feel confident in ourselves. So now, I'm not saying that fear is completely a bad thing. Fear is set in place to protect us humans from doing things that are going to harm us. Sometimes we're so afraid of doing something, and it's good to be fearful because if you stand too close to that cliff, you may fall off, so you need to be afraid. Oftentimes, we fear things because we just haven't practiced it enough. When we think about overcoming fear and being confident about something, oftentimes we are confident about the things that we know inside out. You know, you're ready to go and do a presentation and you've practiced that presentation so many times with your mom, with your friends. You all said your presentation to your dog and your goldfish, and you know that presentation inside out, that you are confident that when you do go into a room and speak, you know what you're talking about and you're not nervous anymore or as nervous as you would be. Your confidence is up. You're confident that you got this and you can do it. The nerves may still be there, but you're confident in your capabilities. Now, if you haven't practiced that presentation and you just got that presentation 5 minutes ago, how confident are you going to be in the material? So I want folks to do something now. If you are fearful of something, you have to confront your fear. If you're afraid of swimming, take a swimming lessons. If you're afraid of public speaking, stand up and speak on something that you believe in. If you are afraid of anything, try it. If you are afraid of rejection, put yourself out there. You may not get the outcome you want right away, but if you keep practicing and trying and you stay at it, eventually you will find success and you will find confidence. So the next thing we're going to do is focus on our strengths. Hone in on your strengths. What are you good at? What makes you feel good? What qualities and skills do you have that you are proud of? Because sometimes our minds want to play tricks on us and keep recycling the negative thoughts and opinions about ourselves, and all our flaws want to be on display in our minds, right in the forefront. And we have to shut those thoughts down and also make room to hold our strengths because we have so many. So take a second, take a deep breath, release the negative energy, And think about your strengths. What are the qualities that make you feel good about yourself? Think about those things for a while, Be proud of those things. Show off those things. You earned it. So, what do we do when we can't see our strengths because our weaknesses are overwhelming our thoughts? First thing you want to do is separate your weaknesses. We all have weaknesses. Everybody has weaknesses. The first thing you want to do is separate them into two categories. First category is weaknesses you can change and weaknesses you cannot change. So we've made these two categorizations. What do we do with the weaknesses that we cannot change? First, what are these things that we cannot change? Are they actually weaknesses or are they differences? Because sometimes we just learn a little. We can learn, but we just learn a little different. Sometimes we just love a little differently. Sometimes these things that we call weaknesses are just differences. And the second category composes of flaws and weaknesses that we can change. We have the ability to change and we need to change. The trick here is to slowly, gradually make these changes. And when criticism comes our way, when people point things out that are new to us that we didn't even know we were doing, is to take that and use it as fuel and a tool to support ourselves in positive change. So let's be honest. Criticism can take a toll on our self-confidence. When you are feeling good about yourself and you are feeling confident and then someone tells you, hey, you need to work on this. Hey, this point was a little bit weak. That can crush our self-confidence. 1 minute we will be feeling like giants and the next minute we can feel so small. It is so important in those times to remember all of your strengths, to recognize your weaknesses, work on improving your weaknesses, but do not dismiss your strengths. One does not cancel out the other. We have spoken about confronting our fears, owning our strength, and categorizing our weaknesses. Now, we are going to start setting attainable goals to achieve self-confidence. Okay, so where do you begin? You want to set attainable goals and start achieving this level of self-confidence that you have never experienced before in your life. First step is make your daily goals so small that on your worst day, you can still complete them. On the days when you don't feel like doing it, when you don't have a lot of time, you can still find success. Next, be sure to write your goals down. So every time you achieve these daily goals, put a little check mark off that box, So by the end of the week, when you look at your calendar, your planner, your fridge, wherever you put this, you can see all these check marks of all these places of where you have achieved your goals for the week and how much closer you are to your end goal, and see how good you feel about yourself. Your confidence is going to start to rise. So now that you have all of this information on self-confidence, you have all these tools to help you build your self-confidence, what can you do first? Self-confidence, although it is a feeling, it also takes work to achieve and experience the feeling of self-confidence. So right now, stop what you're doing. Just stop. Now, I want you to identify the biggest obstacle in your life that is preventing you from being confident. I want you to close your eyes and imagine that obstacle gone out of your life. You have overcome it. Now, how would you feel about yourself? What would your confidence be like? And how would that change, that positive self-confidence, change the way you decide to live your everyday life? So, I want you to take that vision of who you are and that self-confidence that you felt in that vision with that obstacle gone. And while you're trying to remove that obstacle, choose to face your fear and live that life today. Put on that bikini, write that book, finish that degree, apply for that job. The more you try, the more you put yourself out there, the easier it will become, and the more your self-confidence will rise. Thank you for joining me on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe below.